So I want to talk to you about some mind-blowing interview questions that are really great to ask. Now, this isn't just some gimmick that you want to ask really weird, strange questions. But I think that these questions, for me, tell me an awful lot about a particular candidate. So, number one, who was your best boss and worst boss? That, for me, is quite useful because it tells me the sort of person they like to work for, but equally the things that they don't like about their boss, and the things that maybe they don't respond to. So maybe, for example, the best boss they worked for was someone that gave them the freedom to operate, and the autonomy, and maybe the worst boss they had was somebody that was a real micromanager that wanted to know the inside detail of everything. So that for me is quite useful to solicit that sort of information, and that will tell me whether or not they're going to respond well to my leadership style. Question number two, what one piece of critical feedback have you received in the last year that was hard to hear, and what have you done about it? Again, this is useful to try and understand what sort of person they are and how they respond to feedback, because I'm a strong believer in feedback because it's a really useful tool to help people develop and learn. So trying to understand whether or not they're prepared to accept feedback, listen to feedback, and also you're then looking at what they actually did with that feedback. How have they dealt with that particular issue, problem, or challenge, and what have they done to go out and learn to do that better. Question three, paint me a picture of what life looks like personally and professionally in 5 years' time. And this question is really useful to try and understand their motivation. What is it that they come to work for? What are they striving to achieve in the medium term? Are they looking to better themselves? What's important to them in their personal life? What's important to them professionally in the next 5 years? And again, you can understand, A, whether or not you can offer those things, and B, you can, if you can, then you know that if they come and join your organisation, then if they're the personal goals and professional goals that they're working towards, I guess your job as a leader is to support your people and to work with that individual to help them achieve those things. So look, if they want to become a manager or a director of the company, or they want to be able to buy a bigger house for their family, whatever those goals are, you can work with them to help them achieve those things. Question four, what do you want to be doing in your next role? I think this is quite useful as well to understand actually what the role is that you've got, and you want to understand whether or not they think that the role that they're going to be doing matches what you're offering. And actually you can use that question further to find out what they like doing in their current job, what they don't like, and what they like about this role, what they don't like, because you can understand whether or not there's then going to be any further problems in, look, if they say they particularly don't like doing a particular aspect of a job and the job that you've got is doing most of that stuff, then they're not going to potentially thrive in that role. And the final question is, what part of your current company culture do you hope to see here, and what part do you not? And that really relates back to the first question about who's your best and worst boss, but you're also asking the same sort of question about the company that they work for. And again, the same principles really. Is your organisation going to fit with them? How does your culture compare to what they like and don't like about company culture?